Hi everyone, I hope you're staying safe and well. Thanks very much for joining me today. So we don't need any equipment for today's class, just yourself and a bit of a yoga mat, and that's it. So without further ado, we will get started. We're going to start today a little bit different. We're going to start standing up. So you want to come to your front of your mat, feet maybe a little bit parted, hands by your side, pulling the ribs in, pulling the hips in, gently closing our eyes. So today we're going to find our centre, find our breath in this upright position. Allow the shoulders to become soft as we find our breath, as we dive into the breath. So moving into ujjayi breath if you want, or just taking it deeper. Equal inhales, equal exhales. Gently releasing the grip of anything heavy you may be holding on to right now. Just placing it to the side. Can all be dealt with later. Few more moments. So just keeping hold of our length and breath, we're going to open the eyes now. We're going to take both arms over the head. We're going to grab hold of our right wrist with our left hand. So lifting up. And then we're going to take that hand over towards the left. So we're going to stretch out through this right arm. Taking a good stretch through the side of the body and through the arm as well. So you can give it just a gentle pull on the wrist. Moving back to centre, let's swap over sides. So holding on to the left wrist now, and then moving over towards the right again, stretching out through the arm and the side. Another breath here. Bringing ourselves back to centre, releasing the arms. We're going to come around in backward circles, lifting up through our hands. And again, round, back up, stretching it tall. One more time, rolling round, lifting up. So taking the arms behind our back now, we're going to interlace the fingers, palms together, and extend out through the arms. Trying to keep the ribs and the hips in again still. Just taking the arms behind you. We're going to do some little neck stretches here too. So taking the chin down to the chest, we're just going to roll the right ear towards the right shoulder. So just a quarter of a circle. So you should feel a nice stretch down through the shoulder and up the neck. And then moving our chin back down to the centre and then lifting up to the other side. So almost pulling the right shoulder away, extending through the right side of the neck. Couple more times, so rolling through centre and up to the right. Through centre to the left. One more time. Through centre to the right. And through centre to the left. Back through centre, releasing the hands, taking our feet a little bit wider now, reaching up, and I'm just going to gently come down into a lovely little ragdoll. So hold on to those elbows, nice sways from side to side. So I always quite like to keep my legs straight in ragdoll, but if you prefer, or you're doing it maybe early in the morning, then we can bend our knees slightly if that's going to feel a little bit better. And inhale all the way up. We come, bringing the feet together, stretching up. We're going to dive back down again, but we're going to take hold of the back of the legs as we do and draw ourselves into a bit of a forward fold here. So using a bit of elbow power. Taking the hands onto the shin, lifting up halfway, shoulders back. And we're going to step back with the right leg into a lovely crescent lunge here. So settle first, so hooking the back toes, pressing the palms together. Just settle for a moment. Dropping down on the back knee, lifting the arms, taking the hips forward, and if it feels okay, just take a little back bend here as well. Nothing too deep, this is very early into the practice. Lifting back up to centre, hands come down, framing ourselves in tabletop, ready for a few rounds of cat-cow. So inhale, head up, tailbone up. Exhale, curl round. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Bringing ourselves to neutral, we're going to take the right heel up to the sky. So try and keep the hips level if you can. And then we're going to bring that knee in towards us, curl the spine and try and bring the head towards the knee. And we're going to extend back up again, so back to where we started. And then moving back round. So taking the knee in to the chest, towards the head. Lifting back up. And back in. Back up one more time. And then dropping the knees a little bit wider and settling ourselves back into child's pose. Lifting ourselves up onto our knees, taking the hands out in front of us, gentle fists. And then taking a few rolls round one way and a few the other way. And again a few up and a few the other. So keep popping sides. And then releasing, making some nice big star shapes with our fingers. And then coming in to a downward facing dog. So little pedal through the legs and the ankles here for this first one. Walking the feet forward, coming back into a little bit of a ragdoll here. It's a little sway. Inhale, lift up, bringing the feet back together. And let's dive straight back down again, taking hold of the backs of the legs, drawing ourselves into a forward fold. Hands onto the shin, lifting up halfway, taking the shoulders back and the gaze up. And now stepping back with the left into our crescent lunge. So back leg as straight as you can, nice and strong, letting the weight sink down into our hips. Dropping the back knee, use the hands if you need, arms come up, weight forward and if you can, and if it feels good, take a back bend here, nothing too deep. Bringing ourselves back up. And again, framing ourselves for a few more rounds of cat-cow. So inhale, lift, tailbone up. Exhale. Inhale, lift. And exhale. Last time in. And exhale. Back to neutral, and we're going to take our left leg up this time. So then curling the spine, taking their head towards the knee. Lifting back up. 2 more times. Bringing it in. And lift and extend. Back in. And lift. Dropping the knees, taking them both a little bit wider, and again pulling back into a bit of a child's pose here. Taking care of that breath again. Downward facing dog. Make movement if you want, if not, staying static, shoulders rolled from the ears, fingers spread wide. Bending the knees to try and distribute the weight evenly if we need to. Gaze between our legs. Walking our feet forward to the front of the mat. Again, come into a little ragdoll again. And inhale, all the way up. Bringing the feet together, hands up. Arms back down, standing in our mountain pose. Let's take a breath and exhale. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Stepping back into plank pose now. So we can either do this in plank or you can come to your knees. We can do the same thing. We're going to lift up through the right leg. So trying to keep a long line with our leg. And then we're just going to lower it and just tip our toes to the floor. Lift back up. Tipping our toes. Lift back up. Tipping our toes. Hooking the toes now in chaturanga. Lifting up into our lovely up facing dog. Pulling back into child's just for a moment. And then sliding forward into a sphinx pose. So coming onto our bellies now. Forearms either side of the mat, lifting up the chest, shoulders back. Releasing down. We're going to come onto our fingertips, bring ourselves back into child's pose, but keep ourselves on our fingertips. So stretch through the arms. And coming back into tabletop position. So we're going to do a little bit of thread the needle now. So this right arm is going to come underneath the left. We're going to come on to that right shoulder. This left hand, we're going to extend out. So staying on our fingertips, stretching out through the left fingertips, the right shoulder on the ground. Couple more breaths here. Gently using our hands, guiding ourselves back into tabletop, then into downward facing dog. Stepping or walking our feet back to the front of the mat, lifting up halfway. Forward fold. Inhale all the way up. We're going to dive straight back down onto the other side now. Exhale. Inhale, lift halfway. Bringing ourselves back into plank. Remember, we can do this on our knees as well. This time we're going to extend out through the left. Dropping the toes down, lifting back up. Dropping down, lifting up, dropping down, lifting up, and through to chaturanga. So drop to both of your knees if that's where we are, shoulders over the wrist, guiding down, lifting up into that facing dog, and then finding our way into child's again. Sliding forward into our sphinx. So onto our thighs and our belly, forearms either side of the mat, taking the gaze up, shoulders back. Releasing the head down, using the fingertips to guide back, again back into child's, we're staying on our fingertips. Back onto our hands and our knees, and let's thread the needle on the other side. So this time my left hand goes underneath the right, onto the shoulder. This right hand extends forward, the right arm extends forward onto the fingertips. So try and avoid the chest crashing forward here. You want to take a bit of a lift up through the chest, that right shoulder moving back. A few more breaths here. Using your hands to guide you back up into tabletop, tucking your toes. And now we go back into downward facing dog. Setting ourselves up again. Making sure our foundations are strong here. Stepping or walking to the front of the mat. Lifting halfway. Forward, fold. Inhale all the way up. Hands down. By side, taking a breath together. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, rising up with the right knee, lifting up with the arms. And we're going to step back into crescent, where we're going to take our arms in line with that back leg. So our body is pushing forward, chest pulling forward, pressing back with the fingertips. So with this right arm, we're going to bring it forward, straighten our legs, drop the back foot, and then settle in to warrior two. So a hinge now in that front leg. Straighten the front leg, back arm, down, back leg, stretching in. Got a lovely reverse warrior. Taking that stretch through the side of the body. And windmilling back round. Coming in to a low lunge. So dropping the back knee, lifting up with the arms, taking the weight forward. And then we're going to roll the arms backwards. So that's 1 and 2 and 3. So this left forearm is going to come onto the thigh. We're going to hook the back toes and then settle that back foot into 45 degrees. We're going to into extended side angle. So the hips come in, the ribs are all snug and secure. We lift that right arm up and over the ear, taking the gaze to follow if that feels okay. If not, keep it neutral. So back arm straight and strong, pressing the energy down through the little toe. Gaze down, bringing ourselves back up to stand, and then back to the front of the mat, taking a breath, and exhale. Lifting it with the left knee this time, up through the fingertips. Stepping back, bringing our arms back to follow, lunge, pressing the energy down through the fingertips. This time this left hand comes up as we straighten the back leg, settles down, and in we go to our warrior two. Finding that hinge again, press energy through the back leg, gaze down the front fingertips. Inhale, straighten the front leg, back on down back leg into our reverse. Windmilling up, dropping the back knee into our low lunge. So we're going to roll the arms forward this time. So forward, lifting up, and again, one more time. Now this right forearm comes onto the thigh, we hook the toes and then drop that back foot 45 degrees, taking that left arm up and over the ear. So ribs are in, hips are in, holding the core strong here. Gaze up to the hands or gaze directly forward. Gaze down to the ground, up we come, and then back to the front of the mat we come, taking a breath. So bringing the feet either side of the mat and now taking our hands into prayer. So we're going to come into a deep squat now, but only come as far as your knees are going to let you. That's really important. Let's take another breath together. So this shouldn't hurt. We're going to bend the knees, bring ourselves down. Check in with how you feel all the way down. If you're able to, we're looking to get down here. So the elbows are coming on the inside of the knees. We're pressing the palms together, lifting the chest. So avoid everything crashing forward like this. For some of you, this will feel very comfy. And if it does, you can maybe give a little sway on the hips. For some of you, you may be here. Just stay strong, use your breath. And now let's gently find our way onto the floor and extending the legs nice and wide. So just hands on the inside of the legs. We're just going to take a breath together. Bringing our hands together, we're going to make our little peaceful yoga gun, lifting it with the arms. So we're just going to take a stretch down over to the right. So don't worry about going over the leg, we're just stretching out to the right. And lifting up and down the other side. Lifting back to centre, bringing our hands down now, and we're going to interlace the fingers completely. So we're going to add a little bit of movement into this pose now. So we're going to reach forward with our arm. It's going to be a bit like stirring a massive pot. So we're going to stretch forward with the arm straight and then bring ourselves over to the right, bringing that big spoon in and then stretching out through the other side. So let's keep stirring this massive pot. Keep extending out, activating the legs. One more time this way, moving forward, back to centre, resting in the other side. So going over towards the right this time, moving round to centre. Couple more times. Releasing the hands, and we're going to come into the forward fold now. So start extending through the arms, keeping the legs active, feet active. We want to try and get the belly and the chest on the floor, remember. So we're going to guide our fingertips forward until we don't feel we can go any further. Then really hold on to that breath. Filling your body with that lovely energy. You may find you've got a few more millimeters in you to go forward. So just remember, we're avoiding looking down, so our spine curves are extending, so we're projecting the heart forward as we move forward. A few more breaths here. And lifting ourselves up, bringing the soles of the feet together now. So you want your heels reasonably close to your bum. We're going to take hold of the ankles, and the elbows are going to come on the inside of the knees. So we're going to guide our knees down and pull our chest forward. So we're going in the direction of I want my chin to be over there on the floor. So keep moving in that direction. And in this time, just guiding the knees down with your elbows. Lifting up, hands into prayer. And then we're going to bring the hands forward on our fingertips again. And we're going to stretch a little bit further if we can. So start to feel the lengthening of the spine, creeping the fingertips forward. Again, wanting to get that chin over there. So we don't have our elbows to guide our knees down this time. So just use our muscles to do that. Lifting yourselves up. We're going to bring the knees together and roll ourselves onto our back. Little squeeze in with the knees, roll on the spine. So grab hold of the knees to allow yourself to bring yourself up to seated. Holding on, lifting the chest. So as always, we're going to do our little Namaste here, and then we will recline for our final pose. So you can take as long as you want in Shavasana. So take a deep inhale, out through the mouth, and again. Hands to prayer. One more breath. Namaste. So now enjoy your Shavasana. Allow yourself to recline however is comfortable for you. Bending the knees, feet together. Letting go now of the control of the breath. Everything just to fall back into its natural rhythm. Turning off all those muscles that are still activated, so your jaw is soft, shoulders seeping into the mat, feet and the hands are heavy.